Hello there. Thanks for joining me this Sunday. I'm Otto Othman, and these are tonight's top stories. The Prime Minister sends a strong message on the importance of an organized government. Organizer of anti-ISAD rally to be called up. China threatens Canada with grave consequences. Police will call up the organizer of the anti-ISAD rally that was held at Jalan Raja in Kuala Lumpur yesterday over a report on children being brought to the event. Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Datuk Seri Mazlan Nazim said it was an offence under the Peaceful Assembly Act 2012 for children to be brought to the rally. At a media conference today, the KL top cop said those found guilty could be fined up to 20,000 ringgit.
Saya pun dah war-warkan dalam akhbar kan, dalam media semua sekali berkenaan dengan tidak boleh bawa kanak-kanak. Tapi kita kesan adanya mereka membawa kanak-kanak. Jadi satu kes lalu laporan polis telah dibuat akan dipanggil. So baru lepas kan, baru semalam lepas, jadi kita akan panggil untuk siasat tentang perkara ini.
Yesterday, Datuk Seri Mazlan was reported to have said that about 55,000 people had attended the rally and it had gone smoothly with no untoward incidents reported. The organizer was reported to have said that the rally was held to show gratitude following the government's decision to not ratify the treaty and to continue to uphold the federal constitution. Last November 23rd, the Prime Minister's office in a statement said the government would not ratify the ISAD. In Kelantan, a family of 4, including a married couple, were picked up for testing positive for drugs. They were nabbed in a crackdown by the National Anti-Drug Agency, AADK, last night. The 4 were among 57 people detained in the 2-day operation around Kota Baru, Tumpat, Pasir Mas and Bachok. According to the AADK, the 4 family members were aged between 20 and 43, picked up from a house in Kamong Tolong, Bachok, and were tested positive for methamphetamine. More than 70 people were screened in the operation.
Daripada jumlah tersebut, lelaki umur antara 18 hingga 50 tahun dan 48 orang didapati positif dadah jenis methamphetamine, manakala 7 orang lagi pula positif dadah jenis opiat.
The authorities also recovered 163 yaba pills, 45 liters of ketum juice, and 40 packets of ketum leaves. Also seized were an air rifle owned by a 54-year-old suspect in Tumpat, which has been handed over to the police for further action. Meanwhile, in Johor, foreign gamblers were among 19 detained last night in a raid at a premises in Ulu Tiram, which carried out gambling activities. The 9:30 p.m. operation by the Johor Police Contingent's Anti-Vice Gaming and Gangsterism team, led by ASP Yap Heng Kian. Those detained were aged between 23 and 56, 2 of them being locals who acted as the organizer and assistant, while the rest were gamblers from Nepal, Bangladesh and Myanmar. It was learned that the premises began its operations a week ago and targeted foreigners as customers. The case is being probed under the Common Gaming Houses Act and the Immigration Act. Thirteen government parliamentary members have yet to declare their assets to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. Its Deputy Chief Commissioner of Prevention, Datuk Shamsun Baharin Muhammad Jamil, said 24 government administrative members, including political secretaries, have also yet to do so. Speaking to the media after attending the premier walkabout program in conjunction with the 2018 International Anti-Corruption Day at the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya today, he said so far 115 of the government parliamentary members and 63 of the members of the administration had declared their assets.
Sebab ada yang bertanya apa langkah yang perlu dibuat oleh SPM. Bagi kita itu adalah janji mereka. So mereka lah yang perlu melaksanakan. Sebab dari segi keputusannya mereka perlu membuat peristirahan harta itu kepada Perdana Menteri. A copy of that peristirahan have to be given to MECC. So isunya sama ada mereka nak buat tak buat terpulang pada mereka lah.
Datuk Shamsun said the MACC was prepared to assist those who have yet to do their asset declaration. He added that the Commission would propose to the government for a new law or amendments to the existing Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009 to make it compulsory for all politicians and senior government officers to declare their assets. In the meantime, the MACC, in the final stages of its investigation into an alleged misappropriation of the Menteri Besar Special Fund involving a former state assemblyman. State MACC Director Muhammad Fauzi Muhammad said Kedah graft busters are expected to submit the investigation paper on the case to the Attorney General Chambers for further action. It was reported that the former state-elected representative with a Dato' title was arrested to assist the MACC's probe into the alleged misappropriation of 30,000 ringgit in the Menteri Besar Special Fund. He was detained under the MACC Act after giving his statement at the state headquarters on August 13th. The suspect, in his 60s, was the assemblyman for one of the two state seats under the Kubang Pasu parliamentary constituency. The politician was suspected of applying the funds last February to organize a program. Fauzi said the former assemblyman is one of 4 politicians investigated by the MACC for their involvement in corruption cases. As of today, he said the Kedah MACC has received 448 pieces of information, which resulted in the arrest of 53 people. The government will fight racial and religious sentiments with facts and figures. Finance Minister and DAP Secretary General Lim Guan Eng said today that if the government could prove that the people were better off under the Pakatan Harapan administration, the racial sentiments played up by the opposition could be defeated. Speaking at the Selangor DAP State Ordinary Convention, Lim said the government needs to work hard to improve the economy for the people. He added Pakatan Harapan PH had proven before that this was the best approach against the opposition. Lim, who was previously the Pulau Pinang Chief Minister, pointed out that this was done both in Selangor and Pulau Pinang, which resulted in PH winning big in the 14th general election. He said a party that offers an alternative to the people must have plans to build the nation and to improve the lives of the people instead of harping on racial or religious sentiments which would cause unrest. Also at the Selangor DAP State Ordinary Convention, Communications and Multimedia Minister Gobind Singh Dio was today voted in as the new DAP Selangor chairman. He succeeded Tony Phua, who declined to defend the post.
I'm confident, yes, I'm confident. I think we've got a very good team and I think that we can work together and we can make DAP Selangor, we can empower DAP Selangor to face the challenges ahead. We are now in an era where DAP Selangor is actually part of the federal government. So ini adalah satu perkara yang berbeza. So to me, there's a lot of work to do.
Gobind was among the 15 state leaders who polled the highest votes in the election to the state committee earlier, who then chose him as the chairman. The state DAP election is a 2-tiered process where delegates only vote for the top 15 candidates that they want to see in the leadership. The top 15 candidates voted among themselves during the convention. Gobind, who is also Puchong MP, will be assisted by Sri Kembangan Assemblyman Yen Yong Hien Wah, who was appointed deputy chairman. The Prime Minister today sent a strong message to his administration, reminding them on the need to be organized. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the message was relayed during a 3-hour closed-door meeting at a special executive program for government administrators that included ministers and their deputies in Putrajaya today. The Prime Minister said to be successful, the government needs to have a system, and it must also be done correctly. At the session, he also pointed out that the Europeans conquered the world because they are organized. He stressed that there is a need for the government to be organized, while it must have a method to succeed and must be done in a correct way. Meanwhile, Bernama reported that Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali said the Prime Minister also emphasized the importance for ministers and deputy ministers to work as a team with members of the civil service to ensure smooth and effective administration. He said civil servants are there to stay and must be trusted, while the government is answerable to the people and every 5 years has to go through the election process. Foreign Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, in sharing Datuk Sri Azmin's views, said Tun Dr. Mahathir explained the importance of having a system and method that will enable the government to serve the people better and effectively. And that includes understanding among cabinet members, deputy ministers and civil servants. In Pahang, 4 people, a newlywed couple and 2 children were killed in a collision between a car and an express bus along Jalan Kuantan, Johor Bahru early today. The couple killed in the crash, which occurred at 1:48 a.m., was identified as Muhammad Syahmi Amir Muhammad Rawi and his wife Nur Diana Afifa Hasnul Hadi, both 24 and from Johor Bahru. They died on the spot. Police said the children that were killed were the couple's cousins, Yasmin Afika Hazemi, age 14, and her younger sister, Yasmin Alia Hazemi, 12. It was reported that the couple and the children were on their way home to Mersing from Kuantan after a holiday in Teluk Cempedak when the crash occurred. The bus driver and his passengers escaped unhurt. The victims' bodies were sent to the Rompin Hospital for post-mortem, while an investigation into the crash is underway. Coming up, China gives a little twist to our home-run prank. Details next. Thank you for staying with us. The developer of the City One Mega Mall, the scene of the gas explosion which killed 3 people and injured 41 others on Tuesday, has been given clearance by the authorities to reopen 2 blocks in the premises today. City One Mega Mall Advertising and Promotions Manager Fiona Cosmas said the certified structural engineer consultants had verified that the localized explosion did not impact the structural integrity of the building.
For this side of the mall, yes, we have already gotten the approval, except for the other side of the mall. Yeah, we are still, because we are still under repair, hence we're looking forward for the approval after that. Yeah.
In addition to that, City One has announced that parking will be free for all shoppers until further notice. Meanwhile, the other blocks of the mall are expected to be reopened on December 12th at the latest. In the incident believed to be caused by a gas leak in the Nene Chicken outlet, 3 men were killed by fallen debris. A runner and an official at the Penang Amateur Athletic Association, PAA, annual Round the Island rally, were seriously injured when they were hit by a car in the Bayan Lepas early this morning. They were believed to have been struck shortly after the event was flagged off at Jalan Sultan Azlan Shah, Bayan Lepas at about 4:10 a.m. Police said the incident occurred when the 51-year-old official was riding a motorcycle with a 16-year-old reserve runner riding pillion. The reserve runner was to replace another runner who could not continue with the race. Their motorcycle was then rammed by a car from behind, hurling them across the road. The runner and the official were rushed to the hospital to receive treatment. The official has been identified as Li Fu Beng, who sustained injuries on the head and is reported to be in a state of coma. The reserve runner, Chia Ting Chong, reportedly sustained 2 broken legs, while the 34-year-old driver was not injured. Meanwhile, Penang Youth and Sports Committee Chairman Sun Lip Chi said the incident is being viewed seriously as the marathon event did not get the recognition from the state government. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Now let's hop on to our daily segment Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Now, do you remember Harvin Skin's shoe stealing prank video, which has garnered over 21 million views by global netizens? Now, the home run prank has spanned to China. But this time, it gave birth to a different version. Well, these people thought they could do better with something more substantial yet risky, so they decided to steal jewelry instead. Here's what happened. Featured on local internet media Tian Du Yen, the hilarious 1-minute clip typically begins with a person who poses as a potential buyer at a jewelry store. After asking to try on a necklace, the prankster usually makes a dash towards the exit. That would then prompt the sales assistant to practice some kind of panicked parkour to stop them. The runaway scene, however, is different from the shoe-stealing prank, as instead of bolting out through the door, the prankster will stop somewhere else, either to look at another piece of jewelry or look at a mirror near the exit. Realizing that the apparent robbery is nothing more than a prank, the sales assistant usually laugh at themselves, covering their face from embarrassment. The video has now went viral, garnering more than 14 million views. Now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. Now it's time for our My Game On segment, bringing you the latest esports news in Malaysia. Asia's best-known mixed martial arts MMA organization, One Championship, is venturing into esports by investing $50 million or over 208 million ringgit into the industry. In a bid to conquer new audiences, the fighting outfit is prepared to make the necessary investment and participate in every major aspect of the vibrant, profitable market competitive gaming.
With the expansion of esports promising to generate millions in revenue by 2020, One Esports will be looking to benefit from the more popular segment by capitalizing from brand rights alone.
Well, One Championship's move into esports, I think, is coming at a time when, esports is getting bigger and bigger. It's the fastest growing thing out there now. I think it may even be surpassing the growth of mixed martial arts.
Actually, it's quite interesting. I mean, like in Malaysia, because this one is like evolving, So like not everyone know how to play games, but probably they just play games for to spend their time, leisure times, But then I think One Championship want to start e-games, and also it's quite good opportunity for Malaysian who likes to play games.
Developing the segment as a standalone arm, One Championship will use their expertise in hosting events to create more accomplished esports competitions, both online and on-site.
A lot of the fighters or people that are with One Championship doing esports will be doing their streaming, and they're going to be doing Twitch account streaming for sure. But at the same time, I think One Championship will probably be doing on-ground events where tournaments happen.
I think it's great. Esports is huge in Malaysia, especially. I used to play a lot of games, and I know a lot of friends that still play games. So for one to go into esports, I think it's a very smart decision, and maybe I need to go back into gaming.
Although esports does not have the same level of recognition as actual athletic competitions, an increasing number of sports personalities are turning to gaming, and not in just any form, but professional gaming. Talking about how One Championship will help promote the esports industry, professional MMA fighter Agilan Tani believes that the two activities are similar in their own way.
Whatever sports you're playing, the mind is the biggest key, The mind has to be strong. Not everyone can sit down in front of a computer and keep losing and trying to win somebody for 6-7 hours. It's the same thing in fighting. It's not easy for you to go through a 7-8 week camp of training and go and perform against somebody in front of your home crowd, It's all about mental toughness.
Partnering with key industry players Razer and Singtel, One Esports aims to feature multiple blockbuster gaming tournaments across Asia, alongside their own MMA events next year. The 30-event schedule for 2019 will see tournaments take place in cities like Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Tokyo, Bangkok, Manila, and many more.